All right. I think we're live. I hope we're live. I have no idea if we're live or not, but we'll find out pretty soon whether or not we're live from our listeners.
How can you tell?
Everything seems to indicate that we are we are live, but we'll see. I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Yep, we're live. There you go.
In case you haven't heard.
In case you haven't heard.
Word on the street.
Word on the street.
Welcome, Julio, in the chat room.
Welcome to the Glomp Studio.
We are not calling it the Glomp Studio.
The Glomp Studio.
Who was it that made fun of me for that? Whose suggestion was that?
Somebody made a comment, didn't they? Called the Glomp Studios.
In the chat room. It's because, have I ever said that on a show to be, was I being funny? Or did I forget that wasn't a word?
I think you said it on a show.
And then you made fun of me and said...
For saying glomp.
Glomp. My dad said it the other day when I was with him.
Did he really?
We were driving up together somewhere, and he said something about... You glomp them, things that are glomped together.
Yeah, so, naturally. You just glomp things together.
You glomp things together.
Yeah.
So glomp. It's now a word. We have it now.
That's fun. But we are taking suggestions for studio names now. We have a new studio, so we're taking suggestions for that.
I can't wait to see what rolls in.
Yeah, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we'll take your name, but we'll take your suggestions.
That's correct. I think
we should put them all in a big hat with names on them and pick one out, and then if we hate it, we'll just keep drawing until we like one.
There you go. I like the sounds of that. So this is episode number 402. Can you believe we've done 400 shows?
No. You've done 400 shows.
Wow.
I joined about what episode, maybe
I think it was
60 something?
I want to say it was 75 with Tamara St. John.
I think that's right.
Was that the one?
I think you're right, actually.
Breast cancer survivor.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wow. So how did you hold down all those shows?
I don't know. We just did a lot of shows. Back then we were doing a lot of shows too, per week, right? We're doing a lot of them.
But you did a lot before I even came on. Whew.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We're still doing the same amount of work. It's just that I show up with my bright smiley face.
I love it.
Yeah. Can you believe it's already Halloween again tomorrow?
Is that tomorrow night?
It's tomorrow the whole day, but yeah, tomorrow night is.
But yeah,
Halloween's for 24 hours, in case you haven't heard.
But kids don't trick or treat on Halloween day.
No. Well, yeah, if you're a school kid today, it's going to be the big day. This is like the day that kids love, that, and then the week before Christmas, it's and then the week before you get out of school, all the yearbook signing and parties. And
really?
You don't remember being a kid? Did you block it out?
I may have blocked that part out, part of my life out.
What was your favorite for Halloween? What was your favorite costume you ever wore?
I don't know. I didn't really dress up. I never was a big Halloween guy.
Not a big Halloween guy.
No.
Yeah, I know. You're not into it.
I'm not into it.
You dressed up, I'm sure, though.
A few times.
Okay. You don't remember what you were?
No, I mean, gosh, I think I was a ghost one year.
Sheet with a couple black eyes and black mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
or ghost.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I remember trick or treating and being all excited about getting all the candy and stuff like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know I've said this before?
What about you?
Trying to think. I was. My sister was always Pippi Longstockings because she was a redhead. Is a redhead. She's still with us, but she always put a coat hanger.
She used to be a redhead.
She used to be
when she was alive.
No, that's horrible. She had a coat hanger that hugged her head, and then her braids, she wove them through her braids. So they went straight out. She was always Pippi because I was perfect, and she didn't have to dye her hair. I'm trying to think. I was an Indian. I liked being an Indian. Yeah. I think I was a cowgirl. So you got to have those. Mm-hmm. I remember being a pilgrim. I have this theme.
Yeah.
Indian cowgirl pilgrim. Okay.
You need to read People's History of the United States.
How do you know I didn't when I was already 5?
That'll educate you
way ahead of you
on the pilgrims and Indians.
What would I be now knowing what I know?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd be. I'd be my own lone country.
I never really was a big Halloween guy. A lot of my friends were really into it and they dressed up and they took it super serious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's big. I was a Care Bear.
Care Bear.
I was a pink Care Bear. That was exciting.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what? I'll never forget, though. I've said this, I think, on the show, is our next door neighbor. He was so cool. His name was Herb. Uh-huh. He passed away many years ago, but he was an older guy from Tennessee. He's just the coolest neighbor, him and his wife, Betty. And they were our neighbors all growing up next door. And his backyard was all this giant, just organic garden.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying
rows and rows of vegetables and tons of fruit trees everywhere.
Yeah.
And then he also kept bees, so we had beehives, which was really funny. As like just this tiny little fence, you know, between our yard and his, and like the bees never bothered anybody. Nobody would have even known, I think, they existed if he hadn't gave us all he got those honey bears, those little plastic honey bear squeeze jars, and he'd fill up the honey and give them to the neighborhood. And there's still
so all that was raw honey?
All that was raw honey, right from the, it was so great.
How awesome is that?
I go back there and he'd have his bee suit on and show me some stuff. And he'd also be the guy to show us how to make homemade ice cream in a Folgers coffee can.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, when you roll it back and forth and it had like this salt, there was a certain kind of salt, and you put this milk and honey and lavender. He was like the original. I mean, you go back to the, people think now we do all this craftsman or artsy, what do you call it? Like artisanal.
Oh, artisanal.
You know, just, I don't know, going back to like kind of this old, really connected to the nature and the grounds and the, you know, your roots. But he was just that guy. And I mean, that's the way things have always been. We've just been reconnected or disconnected from it, that it seems so foreign to us. So now
he was the only guy in the neighborhood that kind of did that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. And everybody moved in. Like my parents, they all had, you know, everybody was like my parents' age with kids. And so he was kind of the patriarch and she was the matriarch of the neighborhood. And
so he lived in the house next door to your parents now, where they have the garden and all that stuff still.
Right.
Isn't that interesting, that house, just because it seems like it's just the house where people do all the gardening.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I think the gardening, I know it died and some other people moved in between, but it's set up perfect for that kind of thing. With the roads are still kind of there and the fruit trees are still there, and the, you know, the old kind of California citrus stuff. But what I was going to say, long story, is that you at Halloween time, you would go next door and he would give he was the only neighbor, you know, we're all getting candy. Like you said, we're all excited about stuffing our face with Milky Ways.
What's he passing out?
He would give us bags of almonds, California almonds.
Really?
And all the kids were like, oh, bummer, this guy's giving almonds again, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember eating them and they were salted, you know, they were like those Blue Diamond brand or whatever almonds. But I remember that was my first, like,
he was trying to do something a little bit more healthy for people.
Yeah, a little more healthy, I think. That and a comb. Everybody got a little black barber's comb because he was a barber. So everybody got a comb and a bag of almonds every single year. But I remember thinking it was really great. I'd sit there and eat those almonds after I'd stuffed my, you know, face with candy. Yeah. Well, stuffed it's probably so much candy I wanted to throw up for days. But I remember eating the almonds thinking, wow, these almonds are really dang good. It was awesome. Those are my best Halloween memories, actually, looking back. Yeah, back in the day, did your friends have like the whole neighborhood mapped out where they would be able to, they would know which houses give out the best candy and all that? Not really. Really? No. Our friends had the whole neighborhood mapped out where the best candy was given out at certain houses. And what is that a boy thing? I know you had something you called the Blackhawks. Was it the Blackhawks? Nighthawks. Nighthawks. Yeah. Black Night. What did you, so was that a Nighthawk thing? Like was it like a secret mission to try to plan out the best candy route? No, that was just kind of, every kid in the neighborhood just knew which houses gave out the best candy. That's funny. Yeah. You know, we never did that, but we were stoked when we go home, and you know, the best part was coming back and dumping out your pillowcase. Yeah. And watching what you had and we'd organize it. Oh yeah, you guys do that? Totally. Yeah. And you know what happened? I laughed. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about, you know, the kids getting candy for Halloween or whatever. And we all decided that the parents always ate the Tootsie Rolls because no kid wanted to eat the Tootsie Rolls. They were kind of not a kid food. I don't know. Kids wanted like gooey, chunky, pop in your mouth, like weird flavors. And I feel like everyone left the Tootsie Rolls for the end. And so they'd end up on the top of the refrigerator, wherever your parents put your candy away from you. And slowly they would start disappearing. I think because the parents knew that would be the last thing to go. How funny. Didn't your parents eat the Tootsie Rolls? No. I don't know. We just ate until we just went through bled sugar. So what would you give now? Like if we did trick-or-treating, because we don't, we just lock our gate like old curmudgeons. And what would I give now? I don't know. I mean, if money were no option, I'd just get a bunch of raw kind of confectionery treats that you can get at the health food store and do that. But I mean, you got to buy bags. I mean, there's a reason why these bags of candy are like $1.59 for an entire bag or something. I know. It's like, what's in this stuff is so shockingly just insane, right? That we have to, you know, I mean, I couldn't participate in that. I couldn't knowingly give. That's what's so hard. It's like
it's hard when you cook for people, or if you are doing Halloween or something, where you sort of knowingly give something that you know is damaging people.
I know.
That's hard to do.
It's really hard, huh?
You know? Yeah.
Well, here, kids. Here's a Ziploc of Shazandra berry and wheatgrass. Here's a wheatgrass kit.
Here's a wheatgrass growing kit.
Here's some shots of wheatgrass.
Here's how to grow your own wheatgrass.
We give pamphlets.
Yeah.
Because there was always the neighbors too. Did you always get the ones where they'd hand out like a Bible tract?
Oh, no, I never got those.
You didn't?
No.
Here's candy and here's how Jesus will save you. We always got those.
Oh my gosh, how funny is that?
They were great. I mean, they were cool. But now I'm like, wouldn't that be funny if we did something like that? Like,
that's funny.
Here's how to remineralize your body.
Here's how to do a colon cleanse. Coffee enema.
Here's the difference between pH water.
Yeah, alkaline water, pH water.
That's funny. But anyway, it's Halloween time.
Yeah, it's Halloween, and we're excited.
To reminisce.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. This is episode 402. I didn't really say this at the beginning, but Kate, I want to ask you how your biomat session was last night, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But I want to say this show is brought to you by the Qigong course and it's brought to you by the Qigong course and the biomat itself. So if you guys go to our store, you can check out the Qigong course, and the Qigong course is awesome because I've been doing that. We have a brand new schedule, which I've been talking about.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that.
Yeah, which we'll talk about. And the Qigong course is awesome. It's a really amazing way to ground the body, and it takes 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and it restores your qi, which is your life force energy, the primal essence,
your prana,
your prana, what makes you. It restores that through these ancient movements. And if you buy this course, it takes you 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and Tristan walks you along with Peter Ragnar of how to do this. And if you go to our store, there's some interviews that we've done with Tristan, and I think we've done a couple of them, and him doing the Qigong too. And also I want to let you guys know that this show is brought to you by the Biomat. And now this is an incredible, what do you call this? Machine, contraption? Tool, health gadget?
Sure, all the above.
All the above. If you go to our store, you'll see pictures of it. And
that went out on a newsletter today, right?
It did.
They call it the medical. Didn't they call it a medical biomat?
Medical biomat. And
it's great.
It says it oxygenates the blood, increases circulation, prevents and decreases pain, increases, I forget what something that raises your immune system by 40%, heat shock proteins.
Oh, heat shock proteins.
And it flushes toxins from the lungs, lymphatic system, rejuvenates DNA, increases metabolism. And it's really awesome. So if you go to our store, you'll be able to see the biomat along with the commercial that we have for it, along with some audio I did with it, along with some videos and pictures of us with it. And Baby Kate's, how was your session last night?
My biomat sesh.
Yeah, was it good?
I never have a bad one. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't long enough. You can't stay on that thing for, I try to do it every night before bed, but 15 minutes just isn't enough. I took off a long period there when we were having this heat wave for 2 months. Right. Biomat just did not sound fun to get in the bed all sweaty. Yeah. Because you can sweat on that thing just being on it for long enough. I remember our friend Pastor Nar. Yeah. He got one, and he said he would literally just feel like sweaty detox, if he'd stay on it long enough.
And he does his, he doesn't do massage with it. What does he do?
Aroma touch therapy.
Aroma touch therapy, yeah.
Yeah. So he would have people come over and just add it to his aroma touch, protocol.
It's filled with 40 pounds of amethyst and tourmaline crystals, along with the far infrared heat that comes and imbues itself from the crystals, and it's awesome. It's just, you can do it while you're sitting at at your desk, or you can lay down on it. You can do massages on it if you're a practitioner.
You can plug it into your car, apparently.
Yeah.
And put it on your car seat. Isn't there one made for that, like a little seat one? It feels like it's really, really heavy. So it's like I drag it out. We store it under our bed because it's not very practical to just leave it out in the middle of the room unless you have a bunch of extra room in your house.
Or maybe a massage table or something like that.
Massage table.
That would be cool.
If people had a massage table, golden. You could just keep that thing on there. Oh, it's awesome.
How long were you on last night?
I was on for about 20.
20?
And 20 is that sweet spot.
I know.
Where you're like, oh gosh, I got to get to bed. It's later than I wanted it to be. If I could stay here, that gets into the magic hour. But unfortunately, I didn't have that time last night. But
because I've been doing the sauna, I sort of cycle on and off things, but I've been doing the sauna more lately. But the biomat's really interesting because, like I've said this before, you get into this zone, and like you said, the sweet spot where it happens at 20 minutes. Something switches, and you start just
drifting off into, I mean, can you describe it? Have you had as magical of an experience on it as I have?
I have, yeah. It doesn't really feel like anything until about 15 or 20 minutes, probably about 20 minutes. And then you sort of drift off into this like theta state, and it's and your whole body is relaxed and warm, and it's great for lower back problems, but you sort of drift off into this weird sort of, it's almost like it's not psychedelic, it can be, but it's like you're just really in this weird in-between state of consciousness and not being conscious, like when you're trying to fall asleep.
Very. And it's that, and you're just super calm. It's almost like, I remember, who did we interview about it again? Why am I blanking?
Oh, Dr. Mark Circus.
Yes, Dr. Circus. He was saying like on it, he could have the worst day, go and lay on that thing, and then all of a sudden nothing bothers him anymore. And I thought, yeah, right, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And then we got one, and I was like, okay, I can see what he's talking about. You really can have the most stress going on around you, just swirling around you, lay on that thing. And I can't say enough about it. I personally love it. I've had an experience on it that I talked about on one of our shows where I think I was on that thing for like an hour and a half or something. But at the 20-minute mark, I was so entrenched and so deep in this like bizarre state of consciousness where I think I described it as my body feeling like a wave went through it. Kind of like, almost like I felt like my body was doing a wave, like a snake-like pattern.
Wow.
But I don't think my body actually was, but I felt like this like rolling ebb and flow of energy and power going from my head all the way to my toes, and it had to be
bizarre. It
was, I'll never forget it. I haven't had it yet, but you know what, I haven't had it again, but I don't think I've been on it that long again. So
you know what I want to do?
Oh gosh. What? Let me guess. You want to combine it with something else extreme?
Yeah. You got to combine everything. You got to do these things on top of each other.
Are you gonna snake what I was gonna ask you about next? What? The experience you had last week for the first time?
Yes, I want to do that one day on it.
Okay, can we talk about that? Because you had quite a trippy experience. Was that what you were going to say you wanted to do on the biomat?
Yes.
I knew it, darn you. You took my idea. You had just as weird of an experience with a new, I don't know if it's new technology, but new to you.
Yeah, it's new to me. It's called Pandora Star, is that right?
Pandora Star.
PandoraStar.co.uk, I think, is the website for it. It's fascinating stuff. If you go on there, let me go on to Pandora Star, but it's essentially some sort of psychedelic, experience.
I'd say.
Yeah, it's supposed. So what it is? So there's a picture on our Instagram if you want to go check it out. What it looks like with me doing it, but it looks like just all it is just like this light, right? If you're watching someone have it done on them, it just looks like
someone's holding a bunch of bright lights right over your head, right over your face.
Right.
Doesn't look like anything amazing.
But when you close your eyes and it's being done to you, you start seeing these weird patterns, and apparently it's your pineal gland and your brain that creates the sensations of the 3D effect, and you start going down wormholes. And you can start focusing the light, and you start seeing all these insane colors. Did you see all that?
No.
You didn't see that?
No. Well, what I saw, because I am very sensitive to light, and we found out later there was a setting that was like, it was pumped up to the full volume, and a lot of people are sensitive, so you want to start more at a lower base. So I want to try it again. But no, when the light was put right here, I mean, it literally was all these flashes of just like crazy little lights that just like, it makes your eyes feel like they're just like gonna burst out of your head.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's really intense, and it was too intense for me, so I lasted maybe a minute at the most, and I kept my eyes closed, and I tried, and I wanted to have that experience, but it was too much for me to start out with that intensity. But what I did see was, it starts out with white, and then within like 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, it became like turquoise. And then I just started seeing yellow, and then it was like this pop of light.
Really?
And it was too much for my eyes, so I got out, and then that's when you kept going and had all the cool tunnel experiences.
Yeah, it's used for, let's see here, it's used for deep relaxation. It says here on the website, meditation, well-being, stress management, anxiety reduction, depression management, sleep improvement, learning, cognitive enhancement, creative visualization, self-hypnosis, personal development, and lucid dreaming.
So, but I think what people need to understand is that it's just white lights, and our brain is transferring color.
Right.
So like we're assigning color to those lights within our brain and pineal gland. So all it is white, but you swear that they're putting like blue and purple and whatever you're seeing at you. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's really weird.
What is that?
It's really bizarre because your brain is putting together all these colors. And so like, what an amazing thing to combine that with a biomat session.
See,
is that too much?
You always think more is better. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes
maybe
more
not.
is weirder, or more can be just too much. Like too much of a good thing is just too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
I think it'd be cool.
I like to. Sure, why not? I always wonder if stuff like that can mess you up though. Like you almost have too much going on. Your body's like, okay, I have crystal energy and I have this weird light energy, and I'm like, I just wonder. But I'm more cautious than you are. You had a great experience though.
I loved it.
Those things are pricey.
Yeah, what are they, like $7,000 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone local here in Orange County or San Diego or county or anybody wants to try it out, our friend Ron Becker at Newport Float is offering sessions now for pretty reasonable. It's like an hour or 45-minute session.
45 minutes,
yeah, and you can sign up for one of those, and they're affordable, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really weird because as you continue on doing it, it really, like, you can sort of focus your attention and intention while, with your eyes closed on certain aspects of the light. And for me, it looked like a kaleidoscope with all the colors, but then you can start coalescing the light structures within your brain, and you can almost go down what looks like a wormhole.
Oh, I would have loved
really
that.
Really weird.
See, I love that kind of thing. I know I'm going to love it if I just give it enough time. It's just, for me, it was just full blast.
Yeah.
You always seem to
That's so funny.
be okay with that. Julio's interesting. This is interesting in the chat room. He says,
"Oh, have we mentioned everyone in the chat room?"
We have Julio and 4 viewers who refuse to be named.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
They want to go nameless there.
That's fine. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the chat room. Says that he's done a similar thing with closing his eyes and looking at the sun and trying to see what was on the back of his eyelids. I'm like, yeah, I've seen that too. You get all those weird colors, and so I mean, it makes sense. It's all light therapy. It's all light. Yeah, right. Light hitting the outside of your eyelids. So your biomass session was good last night? I feel bad I didn't even ask you last night. Oh, he says he doesn't see colors, but he sees all sorts of different waves or wormholes. Oh, really? Faces. That's interesting. I see colors. I see worms and squiggly things, but sometimes I see those anyway. And I heard that those are, I've heard all kinds of theories, but you know how sometimes you see those squiggly worm things? Didn't you hear that those are parasites in your eyes? I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of different things in terms of what that is. What's true. What those are, yeah. Sometimes it makes me feel like it's just the sun playing tricks on you. Yes, the biomat was amazing. It's it really helps facilitate sleep. It does. Yeah. I roll off that thing, I unplug it, and I roll right into bed. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, it would be good to have one of those because you can meditate on it, you can stretch and do yoga on it. There's a lot of different uses for it, which is cool because a lot of people will contact us and say, hey, should I get a biomat or should I get a sauna? Because they're similar. Oh, it's so hard. I know. But I would have to almost lean towards the sauna. What would you think? Yeah, I do too. It's so hard to say, but the sauna, you just feel, if you're looking for, like, you're feeling like you're detoxing, that feels like you're just incredibly releasing stuff out of your body. Right. The biomat is like, if you want to know you're detoxing, but you want to feel relaxed doing it and you don't want to be uncomfortable and you want comfort. Like one's almost a little uncomfortable, and on the other end you have something that's like really super comfortable. So I guess that's what I would tell people. I mean, it would be a cool thing to do to read on that too before bed, because the cool thing about the biomat is you can kind of direct the energy. So if you want, like the sauna, you can't really apply the heat to a certain area. Right. But with the biomat, you can do that, and like you can lay on it if you want to get your internal organs. You could actually almost do like a castor oil pack with that. Oh yeah, if you wanted to read belly. On your stomach. I have to say though, it's really, you can read for about 10 minutes. Yeah, and then you start getting really tired. And then you're like opiate hit. You're like, oh, I'm like dragged out and feeling kind of totally bizarre. Wonky. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool though, right? Yeah. So Thanks for asking. It was great. Are you going to jump on it later one of these days?
Yeah, I am. I need to figure out how to get pull away from you at night. Because you're always the one that's super hot on the biomat.
Why?
You're using it.
I know. Oh, you want to pull it?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's hard to get it out from your clutch.
My little Kate clutch. I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, because I love it so much.
Yeah. So we've had 402 shows, and they're all available on our website for free for people to listen to. And it's almost been 3 years now.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Has it been 3 years?
August 23rd or 6th. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Ty Bollinger was our first guest. Speaking of that, Truth About Cancer. Wow, people jumped on that. That was awesome all over the place.
That was cool.
Man, that guy is doing some incredible work.
Yeah, it's really awesome. That Truth About Cancer summit. I don't know if you guys were able to catch that. It's still available for purchase. I mentioned that in our newsletter today, but man, that was quite a summit, wasn't it? That
guy does awesome quality work.
Uh-huh.
He knows a lot of people. He has a lot to say. I love Ty.
I'm going to ask him if he's fearful for his life or if he's had threats. He's told me he's had threats on his life, and his kids have had threats, I guess.
By association.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Having him back on the show.
Yeah, he's going to be on November 20th.
Our anniversary.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder about, man, there's so much going on, especially with all the stuff on the East Coast. Has that come to a halt with all those? I mean, I know Ty's not like a natural, he's not a doctor, he's not practicing medicine, but all those people on the East Coast that were recently murdered or killed.
Yeah, I know that we talked about it before. I think it's come to a halt, at least allegedly a little bit. But
do you know how many was the total?
I don't know. It's like almost 30.
Was it that many?
Dr. Gonzalez's family has now come out and said that they don't think he died of a heart attack because he was otherwise fit guy, perfect health, great condition, took care of himself. And all of a sudden, he just allegedly drops over from a heart attack, which is under really suspicious conditions. I mean,
with everything else going on, what do they surmise, like what it was?
They don't know. I don't know if they're doing further autopsy testing or what they're doing, but I mean, I don't know how you would affect someone like that in a situation like that where he dies sort of alone. I'm not sure how you would do that if you're the Illuminati or whoever you are. If you want to kill someone like that, I mean, I guess you would maybe have to do something to his water or something like that, right? I mean,
darn it. He was the nicest man.
I know.
He was I loved him. I thought our show with him was fabulous, and he's so kind. And
he spent all this time with you off the air, remember that?
Yeah.
After he had done a full work day.
I know.
He didn't have to.
He's just gracious man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the government or the Illuminati, whoever's doing these things, can do whatever they want. But I know it's like, how are they actually? I wonder. Yeah, if they're like poisoning you or something, like how hard would that be? To like get that into a person. Like,
I mean, they would
walking into your office and like confiscating your bottle of water. I mean, what's actually going on? Or like you talked about that freaky scalar wave technology. I mean,
oh yeah,
it seems really out there, but could they actually send some kind of weird energy and waves your way to actually like stop your heart? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Scary though.
I mean, if you listen to Project Camelot, the answer is yes.
Illuminati warfare. That's what we're dealing with here.
Illuminati warfare.
My gosh.
So I pray for Ty, and I hope that everything goes well with him. I hope that nothing happens. I'm sure nothing will happen, but he was like a fearless kind of guy when we talked to him when we had juice with him when he came through town. He told me that, he was getting threats, and his family and kids and wife were getting threats and stuff. And I said, does that make you nervous? He's like, no, it doesn't make me nervous. I don't care. Doesn't make me nervous.
Well, I think Ty's one of those guys that is here and he knows his purpose and he's here for that, and he's just going to rock his purpose. And I mean, that's really neat. If you actually aren't fearful and you're like, like God's got it, or I'm not worried, or it doesn't matter what happened. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking, but he's not. I mean, I love if he's not concerned about it, because
I know
it's pretty powerful.
That's a hard thing to get to, a place where you don't even, like, you've detached and let go so much that even your own very life is not something that you struggle to hold on to. That's a weird, bizarre place to be. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine giving up it's like you're let go so much of detachments throughout your whole life that you don't even sort of care about your own life. I mean, you do care, but it's not like you're trying to struggle and hold on to it so much.
So much so.
You know, that's a place to get to.
I think you have to believe in something so much that you invest and you believe and I don't know, like it's not worth living with not having that cause in your life.
Right.
So what's the point? Kind of, you think about the Martin Luther Kings or all these brave people that fought for something. Like, it's almost like, well, what is life without that? So
right.
You'll basically just put on brave and go out brave if that's what you're here to do, you know?
Yeah.
But I value people like that, man.
Yeah. Ty is such a cool guy.
Ty is so cool.
He's so cool. I love that guy. And his book, Truth About Cancer, is awesome. And also Cancer Step Outside the Box. We have that book.
Yes.
And the Truth About Cancer Summit. This one was really cool because, like I was telling you, it's more ideas and subject based. Mm-hmm. So he interviewed 130 people, and so it wasn't like he sat down and you got to watch all 130 people being interviewed.
Right.
It was that he would talk about a certain subject and then take snippets of everyone's opinion on that subject. And so if they were talking about like the medical mafia, the medical industry and how that started, like in the first episode, he would take little segments, sort of like, what was that movie, The Secret? Remember they talked to different people and so they all share their opinions on this certain subject. So it cuts really nice. It's not boring. So you don't have to listen to one person talk for an hour.
Right.
It's really well done, professional, and he's all gussied up in a suit and tie.
All gussied up. I love that you use that term, gussied up.
But yeah, it's great. It's a great summit and super empowering to know that information, to have it, you know?
Yeah. Julio said that he watched the Cancer Summit videos. It really made people think, where was it? Got it from my parents. They watched it, loved it, bought the gold pack, I believe.
Oh, nice.
How cool is that?
Nice.
So good that the word is spreading and be able to share with our families, you know?
Yeah. Well, the thing with that is that this information needs to be so much more prevalent, you know? This information needs to be something that's in the hands of everyone. Everyone needs to have access to this information. And at the very least, just know what their options are. Just know that, you know, they have options, that they don't have to necessarily take the chemotherapy and the radiation if they don't want.
I think we're surprised that there's still so many people who don't know they have options, but man, are there so many people who don't know they have options.
Yeah, right?
I'm shocked every time. I'm like, how have you not at least seen something going around on Facebook? But it depends on who your friends are on Facebook, you know?
Right,
I mean,
remember,
you can live so isolated from all this stuff and not even know.
We were talking the other day because we just posted a picture on our Instagram about the flu.
Yeah, the flu shot.
The flu shot. And remember your dad was saying about how he got the flu shot and he was asking you about it. And then he asked if you got one? Uh-huh. How crazy is that?
Yeah, my dad doesn't know what we do at all, apparently. We went out, we were going up to Disneyland to meet the family, coming back, and we got a turkey chicken burger thing. And yeah, during lunch, he goes, well, tomorrow Mom and I are going to go get the flu shot. Do you guys get a flu shot? I was thinking, what kind of, like, they don't know what we do. And I'm thinking, wow. He thinks that that's health to me, you know? Like, yeah, that's not what we do. It's just sad. To me, again, it was sad. Like, yeah. I go, no, we don't. You know, no, I'm not going to be, you said I should have been a little more firm probably with like telling him why we don't get one. But at the same time, it's like, gosh, I mean, I've given them every opportunity, I've shared little snippets and they just don't seem interested or even kind of turned off. So in my mind, I'm like, what's the point, you know? Right. But I mean, there is a point for sure, but I don't know. I just get frustrated. You know?
You can't really be a disciple and convert people. You know?
Yeah, you can't convert people. Oh, hold on.
No, it's all good.
I have some noise.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Sorry, I opened the video and I didn't mean to. Yeah, the flu shot.
Yeah.
People don't know.
Yeah, it's just, gosh, I mean, we're seeing all this stuff now in the Northern Hemisphere here when coming into flu season and all this where, you know, people are giving discounts, you know, save 20% on your items here at CVS or for the flu. And it's really just amazing that, like, I think your dad was talking about how you can go through and just stick out your arm in a drive-through.
That was the funny thing when he said they were going to go get their flu shots, you know, the next day. And I said, oh, and he said they were going to go through a drive-through at the hospital, at the local hospital.
Right.
And he goes, it's so funny. You get to go and stick out your arm. And I go, well, you don't have to go to the hospital. They offer them, it's at the drugstores and the grocery stores. I did. I'm like, why are you going to the hospital?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, because you have to pay for the other ones.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I mean, not only to get them free is really disturbing, to pay for them is really disturbing, but I'm thinking, whoo, free ones. God knows what's in it. I mean, that's basically sticking out your arm at a drive-through, not even asking what's in it, and it's free. God knows what's in that stuff. Like, you're not even paying to get poisoned. You're like, you're volunteering to be a guinea pig.
Yeah, so bizarre.
A free guinea pig. I don't know.
So
it was
bizarre.
really disturbing to me.
I mean, if you don't know what's in these things and you can't verify for a fact, I mean, you shouldn't really be taking them. I mean, whether or not people are going to be listening to this and they're going to, disagree with what we're talking about, but it doesn't really matter what you put in your body. You should know what you're putting in your body for the most part.
Do a little research.
Yeah, whether you're eating it or getting it injected, you should know what's in your body, and to trust the medical establishment is shaky at best. Shaky because of the really shady way that it was started, with funding from the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, and ebbing out people that were doing natural herbs like Harry Hoxsey, and that whole thing that Ty Bollinger talks about, the Flexner report, and how they just railroaded people who didn't agree with the pharmaceutical model. And also too, did you know that the CEO of Bayer was a convicted war criminal under the Nuremberg trials? No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, crazy.
How'd you find that out?
I just was reading that the other day. This guy wrote a book about it, Matthias Rath, I think his name is.
Matthias.
And it's just bizarre, like all these weird connections between drug companies, pharmaceutical companies, and I mean, you can't trust these people, you don't. I mean, just because someone was, I should say that just because someone is a convicted it's hard to say.
War criminal.
It's hard to say if just because someone's convicted as a war criminal doesn't mean that what he's doing presently is bad, because that's just guilt by association. You have to actually look at what he's doing. But it's just a weird association.
Yeah, it is a weird association.
You don't want that.
No, you don't want that.
No.
I don't know. There's just too many things like that. I mean, call it conspiratorial, but I mean, when you start uncovering and kind of digging around, I mean, it definitely seems too, what's the word? Like too suspicious.
Yeah, too many weird.
Too coincidental.
Yeah, open ends. Too many open-ended weird things.
Yeah, I know. Do you know we have a guest in the chat room? Well, first of all, we have Shane saying that's incredible. Drive-through vaccinations. Didn't California mandate vaccinations recently? Do we know where we stand with that right now?
Well, apparently it's the SB 277 thing. That's just for kids that are going to school, private or public. Right. Funny, we have a thing called private schools. There's no such thing as private schools. I mean, it's all public.
I know.
But yeah, apparently that passed, and they're working on some legislation in order to reverse that. And if they get enough signatures, which I think they got, right?
They got enough, yeah. But now it's like sitting in the wings waiting to be. I don't know why this kind of stuff I don't know why it takes forever, but I think it's something happens in November again.
Yeah.
Where I think the next thing is it's another SB something, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but I was talking with a lady in the parking lot who was basically had the rosters in her car. Her car was painted. All the outdoor windows were painted with the SB 277, sign this vaccination, anti-vax thing. So I started talking with her, and I'm like, that's awesome. You're just like full on about this. Good for you. And we signed it and blah, blah, blah. Right. And she said, yeah, in November, it's this other bill that's sitting on the governor's desk about how they might go a step further, though, and require the adults working with children to get vaccinated as well. So it'd be like, she said it would go as far as like, hey, you're going to volunteer at the seasonal pumpkin patch with kids, or the petting zoo, or basically working with any kids at an office. So now if you're a medical professional working in a medical office, or you're working at a speech therapy office, or anything where kids are going to be around, you'd be required to get vaccinated as well. Did
you say that that's going to be up for vote in November?
For something like that, yeah.
Really?
And to be honest, I mean, I feel like there's so much research to do. I'm not a researcher, but I also just can't spend hours. We have so much to do with show producing. I should know more about that, but I don't. So
I'd
like to look further into that. she was so knowledgeable. She'd be awesome to have in here if I could track her down in our town to just talk about what actually is going on for the Californians.
She was up on everything.
Yeah, I think I remember her last name. I'm going to see if I can find her on Facebook, even though I hardly am on there anymore. And then we also have a question in the chat room, if we know any things about echocardiograms or CT scans and if they're safe. Do you have opinions on that?
Echocardiograms and CT scans?
For chest pain?
I think echocardiograms, from what I remember, are safe. The CT scans, those things are pretty non-invasive as far as I know. Mm-hmm. It's not like getting a series of X-rays or something like that. It might be good to just kind of see where you are with your cardiovascular health by doing that. But also you can check your blood pressure and your cholesterol and things like that if you're interested in heart health and stuff too. But
this person in the chat's afraid of going the wrong way with it because of chest pain. They want to do the right thing. And they're worried about the safety of those things. I've never been, from what I've heard, I've never heard anyone say echocardiograms are devastatingly bad. Not like going to get an MRI. I mean, I'm sure anytime we're putting cell phones to our ears. I think that's probably, in my opinion,
I know,
a little
right?
scarier, but
yeah,
because at least you're not getting blasted with the X-rays,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're going to pick one test over another, I think that one seems a little more docile.
I've had multiple of those, but I think really what it comes down to is like, you can get, an X-ray or you can go fly, but it's really how you treat your body on the days you're not doing these things. Cause there's things that are so unnatural that we do, like driving cars, flying in airplanes,
right,
getting X-rays. And these things are damaging to the health, but it's funny because people want to sort of shield themselves from everything in life that's going to be damaging to them. But, I think what it comes down to is how are you treating yourself the rest of the time? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing practices that are facilitating a stronger version of yourself?
Right.
And so, for the average person, electrocardiogram or X-rays or flying or even eating poor food, these things are sort of piled on top an already existing poor lifestyle choices.
Right.
And even though those things are pretty much, the main things that can destroy someone's health, like stopping at a drive-through at McDonald's or something like that,
where you can get a hamburger and a vaccine.
Yeah, oh my gosh, right?
What if McDonald's started offering vaccines as they're like, you can get your Happy Meal and while you're at it, you get a free flu shot.
My gosh. Well, they're basically doing that with the hormones that are in the meat.
Totally.
But, I think it really comes down to, it's okay to do these things, I think, as long as you're taking care of yourself the rest of the time.
In moderation.
And always sort of working up to that, like getting better and adding more protocols into your schedule that you do, right, and that kind of thing.
It's like food. I mean, if you're eating 80%, 90% well, and then, every couple of weeks you have something, you kind of blow it. Well, I don't think that's going to like put you back to square one and like completely devastate your body. I mean, your body will be able to handle it better. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's what we do the majority of the time that's more important. But
is it cool? Do you mind if I go pee?
Okay, I'll let you go.
Are you sure?
Let me bring up here. Let's see. What can we talk about? I will hold the show. Let's do, bring it up. Hi. I will bring up summits that are going on right now that people might want to know about. We are all about the summits, and these are just ones you guys might want to check out. We are going to put the links on the show notes. So we have the Healthy Happy Dog Summit. I can't believe how many of our listeners, including us, have dogs. Seems like almost everybody has a dog, but I never heard of a whole summit for dog health, which is super cool. We've had Robert Mueller from Barf World on our show a couple times, talking about just how important it is to feed our dogs right and treat our dogs right. I mean, they're such a big part of our family that we want to treat them like family members. So that's kind of cool. Healthy Happy Dog Summit. And that runs from October 26th. Oh, that's already going on, to November 2nd. So you guys could check that out and grab the tail end of it if you're listening live. There is the Search for Sustainability Summit that runs November 1st through the 12th. So nobody's missed that yet, but the Search for Sustainability, that's really cool. And obviously a very important topic about how to sustainably live. And a lot of it has to do with the search for sustainability in our lives. And that's pretty cool. the Ayurveda Summit, which runs November 9th through the 16th. And so that's good. You guys haven't missed that as well. And that is, I don't know where the Ayurveda Summit, do you know who's actually doing the Ayurveda Summit?
Ayurveda Summit.
Do you know whose summit that is? Okay.
No, I don't.
That's pretty cool though, because the Healthy Dog Summit, that one is already like, we only have a few days more left of that one.
Okay.
But the other ones are all coming up, so this is good to tell people about.
Awesome.
Ayurveda is awesome. I've been learning a lot more. We have a new friend that's an Ayurveda.
Yeah, what's her name?
Oh, that's a great name. I'm going to mess it up though.
I think, right?
Sandia Ramaswamy. Isn't that great? From the Green Lotus. She's local, and I've seen her at a conference I went to called Mindful Her Conference.
Yeah, you posted some of those pictures on Instagram. I think, right?
Deepak Chopra's daughter was there, and I got to meet her, and she did some book signing and some speaking. And but we'll get Sandia on. She's awesome.
What is it, Sandia Ramaswamy?
Isn't that great?
That's a great name.
Yeah, from the Green Lotus here in Orange County. The Green Lotus Wellness.
Oh, nice.
So she's cool, but she's all about Ayurveda, and what's cool about her is she works individual with people, to get them what they need, but also she teaches Ayurveda cooking classes. She takes it to just where people can infuse Ayurveda into their life and have it be a lifestyle of healthy living. And then there's one more summit.
Yeah.
Unleash Your Greatness.
Ooh, I like that.
How cool is that? That's November 16th through the 23rd.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Unleash your greatness.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one because
tuck your crazy back in.
Tuck that crazy back in while you unleash your greatness.
Nice.
So it's pretty sweet. So those are things that I think people would be interested in. So I hope you guys check them out.
So what? Let me see if I have those written down.
I hope you do.
The summits. Let's see here. Yeah, search for sustainability. That should be pretty good, huh?
I think so. Sustainable living. That sounds great.
Sustainable living. Ayurvedic Summit. Yeah, we had have we had multiple people on our talking about Ayurveda? We had Alicia Diaz. I remember that.
We had Alicia.
She was good.
Anybody else?
I don't think so.
I mean, people have talked about it a lot, but I don't think we've ever had like another Ayurveda only focused person. So Sandy is amazing because she's Ayurveda, and obviously along with that is a lot of the essential oils and simple things people can do.
I've been doing more essential oils lately before bed.
I've been too. You've been too?
Yeah.
Why with the seminar thing she gave on essential oils is she just gave this really super simple breakdown of how, like, what oils you can use with carrier oils and which ones don't need it.
What do you mean? What's a carrier oil?
A carrier oil is like like we met that lady at the health food store yesterday.
Oh, right.
That was buying a big old thing of avocado oil.
Oh, right.
So avocado, jojoba, sesame seed. There's a few grapeseed, I think. I don't really know the carrier oils, but for people that are really into oils and healing with oils.
That's right.
They have to be diluted safely in order to apply properly. Because a lot of them can burn or cause irritation. So you put like, say, 10 drops of avocado oil and like 1 drop of rose oil or something like that, so that it doesn't overwhelm you or overpower you or, kind of burn or itch or whatever. But what she was talking about, how I think she said, don't quote me on this, but I think she said that the essential oils of plants, like of flowers, you don't have to dilute ever.
Really?
So with the rose, it can go directly onto your skin, or with the lavender, it can go onto your skin. Yeah, she said there's some that don't require a carrier oil. Oh. So it's interesting. But you might not want to go put on, I'm trying to think of something. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you want to put straight like eucalyptus. There was a certain differentiation, she said. I don't want to blow it, but when she comes in the studio, we'll ask her. Because I think I've been wasting a lot of my oils with a carrier, when sometimes they could, they spread farther with a carrier.
Right.
But sometimes you want the more concentrated stuff to do what it's going to do for you. And I didn't quite understand that until I took her seminar. And what was interesting is I have a lot of friends that are into the, the doTERRA and the Young Living. And, I don't know what I think of those, but I think there's some great products in every line.
Right.
But I've never heard them break it down like that, about like there's a certain section of oils that don't need a carrier. I never heard that from any of my friends who do oils. So.
And then certain oils you can take internally and certain oils you don't want to, right?
Well, what's interesting is Sandia says no. She says you never want to take any of these internally. She disagrees with
really?
Really? Which is
Really?
interesting, because I have friends that, with this doTERRA stuff, they're like putting peppermint in their mouth and they're putting oil of lemon in their water. And she disagrees, and I'd love to ask her these kind of questions on why.
So she's
being an Ayurveda practitioner, I want to know why she She thinks that.
She's in Dana Point?
She's in Dana Point.
Okay, we got to get her in the studio.
Yeah, I've already sent her an email and she'd be honored to be on. So
Sandia, what is it?
Sandia Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. Look at that name.
She's awesome.
Is that that's her real name?
Oh, yeah.
Sandia?
Oh, yeah. Straight from India. She also takes people on India tours. Really? So if people are interested in going to India to learn to live more the Ayurveda lifestyle and infuse these things into their experience with that culture, she'll set up this tour of sorts and guide you. So you can basically use her as kind of a travel agent to feel safe about your trip to India. And I don't know if she goes on every trip. It sounds like maybe she does, and sometimes a year she'll take people, but other times it sounds like she can just be kind of your tour guide. Like, here's what you want to do, here's where you want to stay away from, here's where I would stay. She kind of sounds like she consults people. So yeah, when we have her in, we'll put up her website and talk to her all about that.
I don't know. I never really felt a pull towards India. I never really felt,
me neither, actually.
On my trip I took around the world, I went to a lot of places, but India was never one of the places that ever drew me. India or China or any of those places like that. I don't know why. I just never felt really
drawn to it.
I
don't either. Maybe it's, you wonder with people saying past life stuff, if you had a bad issue or you are not overt. What's when you're averse to a certain culture? It might be something like that, or maybe we just don't care for the taste of the food or the smells, or I mean, who knows? I don't know. But
you have nothing against Indian people.
I love Indian people. But by the way, while I was talking about when you were gone about the healthy
the summit,
pet summit.
Oh yeah,
the healthy dog summit.
Healthy dog summit.
Julio was so cute in the chat room. Says, I drove through a snowstorm for 3 hours to surprise my wife with a puppy.
No way.
I had to bring that up because that is so cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Go Julio.
Dogs.
Who doesn't want to be surprised with a puppy?
I know, right?
I wanted one every year for Christmas. Never got one.
As a kid. Ugh. You even showed me a picture or samples of writings that you gave to your dad to pleading with him.
Every year.
Pleading, please.
Birthdays,
please
Christmas.
give me this dog. I want a dog so bad.
All I wanted was a dog. We used to steal neighbors' dogs. I told you this. We would find dogs walking around the neighborhood, my friend and I, dogs or cats, and we'd put blankets over them and like take them in our rooms or our backyard and try to like actually pretend like we had a pet for a while. It was so sad.
Oh my goodness.
And then we'd let them go, of course, but it was just, that's how bad we wanted animals. So that's something about keeping our animal. Now that we have Maggie, I mean, she's crazy at times, but man, is it good to have an animal in your house, and it's just good for your soul. But
it's good for your soul as long as you train them right and you treat them right, and man, they're just so good to have around.
They add so much to life.
They add so much. They're just such great de-stressors, and they make you feel good. They're happy. They're always ready to wanting to, be excited to see you. And at
the end, we'll bring little Maggie. Oh, she's emerging over here.
Is she?
We'll bring her up at the end here for the video. She's so cute.
Hey, we've been doing a little bit of a brand new thing that we're doing, and maybe we can encourage people to do the same. But we've been doing a new non-sugar plan. Oh, there she is.
There's Maggie. Are you an office worker today?
She's an office worker. But yeah, we're doing a non-sugar, we're easing into a non-sugar plan.
Yeah, we kind of got a little off course with our sugar intake. All, natural kind of sugars and stuff.
Right.
But, stinky breath, Maggie.
Breath.
Wow, halitosis.
We need a healthy dog summit for
you.
We got off course, I think, didn't we?
We got off course.
Yeah.
And, it's not adding to anyone's health. I mean, to just be doing a lot of maple syrup or agave or anything like that. So we cut out, we cut out my favorite Coconut Bliss ice cream. It still has too much sugar for my liking.
Right.
Ooh. But yeah, how's that going for you? You're attempting to not only cut out sugar, but aren't you doing some kind of maintenance cleansing along the way too?
Yeah, I'm sugar and me have had a love affair for too long. And
I'd say so. You've been way more of a sugar guy than I was a sugar gal. You love the sugar.
I do. It's just really something, like I've always had a sweet tooth and I always enjoyed it. But, recently switching on to more natural sugars is good. But still, you always want to constantly be sort of striving to do better. You always want to be like working at something and attempting to clean up your diet or do, accomplish a goal, or you always want to be like working towards improving some area or aspect of your life,
Yes.
So now it's sugar that I want to work on. And I wanted, for those that are watching this on YouTube as a podcast version, I brought up a website that they'll be able to see from Body Ecology. And there's
Donna Gates.
Donna Gates, and she talks about 25 reasons to avoid sugar.
Oh gosh,
and
bring
let me
it
read
up. Yeah,
you some of these.
Scare the heck
Feeds
out of you.
candida, promotes wrinkling and aging skin, makes your blood acidic, can lead to osteoporosis, rots your teeth, raises your blood sugar level, contributes to obesity. It's very addictive, can create urges to binge, provides empty calories with no nutritional value, contributes to diabetes, robs your body of minerals, robs your body of energy, contributes to heart problems, it can cause cancer, contributes to ulcers, can cause gallstones, adrenal fatigue, suppresses your immune system, raises the level of neurotransmitters called serotonin, weakens your eyesight. We were just talking about our eyes the other day. Sugar can cause hypoglycemia. It can cause aging, contribute to skin problems like eczema, and can be directly correlated with arthritis.
So basically, you will look like a Halloween skeleton with a tiny patch of fuzzy hair with no teeth. Teeth rotted right out of your head. I mean, when you think about all that.
Crazy, right?
Imagine what you, it's amazing we even look halfway decent walking around if that's all happening on the outside and the inside.
I know, right?
It scares the heck out of you.
Yeah, it's like insane how much sugar affects the body, but we just don't really think about it because it's coming in the form of substances. We're not really like think that it's sugar, like bread and pasta and any wheat product, corn, corn syrup. There's even sugar in toothpaste and
I know
all kinds of weird things.
I'm very affected by sugar though. Like even if I eat too many carrots, I'll just feel like a little zing.
Yeah.
I think that like most people, I used to think though that like you eat sugar in, sugar out. You think it just kind of goes through your system and it's out of you like any food you eat, but you don't realize like all the damaging effects any kind of food or sugar is doing while it's in there. I mean, it's changing the chemistry of your body and your cells on a cellular level.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't taught to think that in school or when you learn about biology or how your body works. I mean, who would think? You think food goes in and food goes out. Besides that, I mean, everyone knows it can make you fat or not.
Right.
But that's all that anyone really used to think about, I think, you know?
I know. They don't really think about like what it's doing in between when it enters and leaves your body. They don't think about what it's actually doing.
Yeah.
And it's correlated with just about every known disease.
Well, that's jacking up your hormones. And I mean, people who are diabetic, I mean, obviously it's not leaving your body. It's not going in and out of your body. It's a level of consistent problem with the sugar issue people have going on. It's insulin. It's just...
And it's so dang addicting, you know?
Tell me about it.
It's so addicting.
I know. And you wonder why. But I mean, look at our culture. I mean, I hate to blame it, but I'm blaming it a little. Why in the world do we have a holiday where you go get bags filled and boxes filled with candy? I mean, my gosh.
I know. What are we doing? Why
are we rewarding kids with ice cream when they do get on a report card? I mean,
yeah. Why do we do that? You know,
because I mean, we all know that sugar makes you feel immediately amazing and good. And you feel like you just like got this satiated, I don't know how you describe it, but basically you had this void and you can't think and breathe until you have it satiated. Right. So you have to stuff the sugar in your face and you feel good for like 2.5 seconds. And then you just want more. So it's got you in this evil trap. I mean, but then you look around you, everyone's just eating and drinking sugar. That's all anybody's doing.
Yeah, think about like pasta and wine, which is a common sort of dinner that people have. Pasta
Coke and hamburgers.
Right.
Coke and hamburgers don't seem like you're... And same with pasta and wine. You don't think sugar. I mean, I didn't used to think sugar. You just thought this is food. You didn't think you're sitting down and eating a plate of gummy worms and you're drinking, like fruit juice, like Kool-Aid. Right. You think, okay, maybe that seems like a sugar dinner. But sugar's just lurking in everything. Just everywhere. It's everywhere. And especially like high fructose corn syrup, and you're getting a lot of it too. And like, what are they called? The ketchups and the mustard and those condiments things, you're getting tons of sugar in that stuff. Stuff you don't think about. It's stuff you don't think about. And I brought up this interesting article for those that are watching this later on YouTube. There's an interesting article I'm going to bring up here that you can see from Dr. Mercola, and it says he brings up a video, Sugar the Bitter Truth, and we might want to link to that on our show notes. Sugar the Bitter Truth. By the way, if you want the show notes to this episode, it's extremehealthradio.com/402.
But in this article, which I'll also put in there too, it says fructose, this addictive, commonly used food feeds cancer cells, triggers weight gain, and promotes premature aging. And it's an interview he does with Dr. Richard Johnson, which I found was very fascinating. But in the bottom of the article, or below that, in this article, Dr. McCullough says his comments, and he says that there's a vast sea of research suggesting that sugar is plotting your demise, and science has now shown us beyond the shadow of any doubt that sugar in your food in all its myriads and forms is taking a devastating toll on your health. The single largest source of calories for Americans in 2015, which is crazy, the single largest source of calories from Americans is coming from high fructose corn syrup. And he says, take a look at this sugar consumption trends. So get this, sugar consumption trends in the last 300 years. So from 1700 till today, okay? In 1700, according to this article from Dr. McCullough, the average person consumed about 4 pounds of sugar per year. And I bet you those 4 pounds of sugar were natural sugars, probably from fruits and vegetables. Most of it was not this processed, sort of refined sugar that we have today. So in 1700, average person, 4 pounds. 100 years later, in 1800, the average person consumed 18 pounds of sugar. 18 pounds of sugar. You ever go to the gym and lift up a weight, an 18-pound weight? I was at the gym the other day doing some shoulder exercises, and I had 25 pounds doing shoulder sort of flies, 25 pounds, and that's a small amount of weight, but man, that's only 7 pounds difference. 18 pounds, you're eating that every single year. All right, so in 1900, the individual consumption has risen to 90 pounds. So it goes from 4 to 18 to 90 pounds of sugar per year. 90 pounds. So I go to the gym and I work out, and there's 2 45-pound dumbbells that I put on either side of the bench press bar, and I'll do some bench, I'll warm up and then put it, and then hopefully if I can do another one of those. But 90 pounds, that's 2 45-pound plates at the gym. In 1900, that's what it was, 90 pounds. So Kate, I'm reading this Dr. McCullough's comments here. The average amount of sugar the average person was eating.
Okay.
What's Maggie all excited?
Oh, I gave her a raw biscuit.
Oh, nice. So check this out. In
Okay.
1700, the average person, 4 pounds of sugar per year.
Okay.
1700. 1800, the average person consumed 18 pounds of sugar.
In 1800?
In the year 1800.
Dang.
The average person consumed 18 pounds of sugar per year. And I was just telling people about, the other day I was doing shoulder fly exercises with the dumbbells at the gym.
Okay.
25 pounds, which isn't a lot, but the shoulder flies like that.
Yeah, yeah.
25 pounds, that's only 7 pounds difference. You're eating all that in 1 year.
Gosh.
1900, 90 pounds of sugar per year. 90 pounds. That's 2 45-pound plates at the gym. That's crazy. So in 2009, check this out. So that was 100 years ago, 115 years ago. 2009, more than 50% of all Americans consumed 1/2 pound of sugar per day, which translates to a whopping 180 pounds of sugar per year. 180 pounds,
It was
dude.
90 in 1900?
It was 90.
So we doubled it.
Well, yeah, doubled it.
Doubled it.
Doubled it.
In 100 plus years.
In 115 years. How crazy is that?
Holy moly.
Yeah, right?
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
1/2 pound a day?
Well, it's coming in so many forms, right? It's coming in all these different forms.
My Lord. That is crazy.
You wonder why we're sick.
Crazy. Oh, you wonder why we're sick.
And so I've been feeling a lot better even cutting out natural sugars, because we don't really eat any processed sugar or anything like that. But I've been feeling a lot better just cutting out natural sugars. Like we've limited the juice that we do to 2 carrots. And see, this week we're kind of easing into a non-sugar deal. So we're allowing ourselves to still have some.
We're weaning, as I say.
We're weaning.
We're Halloweeny. No, we are weaning off. Yes, we are allowing ourselves a little bit, but
So
slowly.
yeah, slowly but surely. But Yeah, so we've been doing, a lot less, but we've been doing half a green apple instead of a full green apple.
Half a green and tons of lemons, and there's tons of greens.
Less carrots.
Less carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been really helpful. I've been feeling a lot better.
I'll tell you, the lemon makes it with all those greens because I forgot to do the lemon the other day, and I was thinking, oh my gosh,
it's so bad.
Was it straight celery juice? Yeah, celery and I forgot to buy celery at the store.
Oh, bust.
I just remembered. I was there this morning. Bust. Anyway, yeah, straight celery and straight cucumber, no flavor. Like it's just kind of, yeah. And then you add that lemon in though, when you put parsley in there, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you think of Mega Hydrate? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, Mega Hydrate. That was the supplement that I mentioned on the video that I did recently on our YouTube channel about how to store your water.
Okay. They want to know what your experiences have been of Mega Hydrate, or if you have any thoughts on it.
I have not tried Mega Hydrate. I've heard it used by many people, and I've seen people use it.
That's when we were talking about adding into our juices, right? Mm-hmm. What is his name? Have we had him on the show?
Dr. Patrick Flanagan.
We haven't had him on the show.
No, but that guy is a genius.
Yeah.
That guy is a genius. He thinks he's the reincarnation of Tesla.
I remember that.
Remember that?
We watched him on a show. Who were we watching interview him?
Guyam.
Regina Meredith?
Yeah,
Guyam
Regina
TV.
Meredith.
Okay.
Guyam with Regina Meredith.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a fascinating guy. We should get him on the show.
Yeah.
We should try to get him in the studio. I think it would be better to have a guy like him in studio.
Where is he located? Do you know?
I don't know.
Mega Hydrate.
Remember he was coming up with all of these inventions and schematics and blueprints when he was like a kid?
I do remember that.
See, he's an amazing guy.
He really does say, I mean, he swears that he is the reincarnation of Tesla, huh? Mm-hmm. Ooh, weird.
But yeah, you can go on YouTube and learn about how people are structuring their water in the vortexers. What are they called? What's the vortexer called?
The vortexer. Oh.
The spinner. Vita something.
Vita Health? Vita...
Spinner.
Oh shoot, there's so many gadgets.
I know, right?
Wow, why are we blanking on that? Wow.
Yeah, I forget what the name of that is, but vortexer, some kind of vortexer you can buy, and people will structure the water with that. Haven't had any personal experience with it because we haven't.
Vitalizer.
Vitalizer.
Oh,
nice.
Vitalizer Plus.
Vitalizer Plus.
I knew it was close.
But yeah, so but someone mentioned on our YouTube channel, I was telling you about this the other day, the Food Saver thing.
The Food Saver.
Yeah.
Not the VacuVita.
Well, that
looks amazing too.
That kind of idea, VacuVita, yeah.
VacuVita.
But that kind of thing to put over the top of your mason jar.
Yeah, so tell people about this, because when we saw an infomercial for the VacuVita, which looks amazing, we should put a link to that, and it's not that expensive to have all your food saved. It basically is like these Tupperware, but they're non-BPA or whatever. And so it's not just a bag where they always have those sealed bags where you can put your meat in and your stuff in and then suck out the air.
Right.
And then put them in the freezer or the fridge, and they last longer. These are actual like Tupperware containers where you stick the vacuum on the top of this little spout and you suck the air out and whatever. So I was all excited about those. And when I mentioned it to you and then you watched the video, you said, I wish they could make something like that for a green juice.
For a mason jar.
And then you found, I
know. So if you go on our YouTube channel, there's a video that I did of two strange tips for storing your green juice, I think it's called. And there's a really nice guy that we've got some really great commenters on YouTube, which is cool. A lot of people have some strange,
some less than great things.
Yeah, some less than amazing people. But yeah, so this guy mentions about this food saver thing that you can get for your mason jars, and because in the video, the two things that I talk about that people don't necessarily know is adding a little dab of honey, like a half a teaspoon of honey, because of the raw enzymes.
A little dab will do it.
A little dab will do it. A little dab will do ya. And along with Mega Hydrate, a couple drops of that, filling it all the way to the top, and then sealing it shut and keeping it dark and cold. And I don't think that a lot of people have heard about those two sort of ways of...
When you mean cold, do you mean could they be just as powerfully saved in the refrigerator or freezer, or does it matter?
Well, it's better if they're not frozen.
Okay.
It's better.
Okay.
But you can freeze it, but you'd want to put it in glass. So I don't know if you'd want to freeze glass because it could break. But
I think you can if you allow room for it to expand.
Yeah.
So what's that thing that sucks the air out of it?
So it's a food saver product, and I put it on our Amazon wish list. But it's a food saver product that you put over the top of your mason jar. So you put they've got 2 contraptions that go over the top of the mason jar. One is for the full wide mouth mason jar, and the other one is for the smaller mouth mason jar. And you can put it over the top of that and without the part that screws on. So you don't want to put that part on, just a flat piece. And when you put it over the top of that, it sucks all of the air out of the jar.
That is insane.
Somehow, I have no idea. How crazy is that?
How did you find? Were you just searching for?
No, I did the video with the 2 tips. The 2 tips were the Mega Hydrate and the raw honey, and then someone shared in the comments. He said, "Hey, I like your ideas, but I also use a food saver," and sent me a link to it.
Oh, that's awesome! So thank you, whoever that was.
So that's a good way to store your.
So I wonder. So in that case, are you freezing it? Julio says in only extreme temperature differences will the glass break.
Mm-hmm.
We've broken a few. Yeah.
But it's best to keep it as cold as possible without freezing it, if you can avoid freezing it, and as well as keeping it as dark as possible.
When you said that, I'm like, when you said keep it cold and dark, I was thinking, well, who has a cave? Like who's supposed to put? And then thinking in my brain. Well, I don't know. I guess you don't think in your brain. You think out of your brain, really, when you think about it. But when you said that, I was thinking, well, the refrigerator wouldn't be a good place then because it's all light. But I forget we only see its light when it's open. When it's dark, when it's shut, it's dark.
Yeah,
that's so weird to think about the refrigerator. That was silly.
Yeah.
That's really weird to think, though. Like, you never think about being in a refrigerator when it's shut.
It's always dark.
Poor vegetables. Dark and afraid.
Dark and afraid. No, but it's actually good when you're storing juice. You want to keep it dark because.
No, I know. I'm thinking that's the perfect thing, and you don't have to have a cave. Yeah, which is even better.
Good thought. Yeah, because what a lot of people don't realize too is like nuts and the juice that's inside a plant is protected from light. Really.
That's true.
You know, a nut is going to be, if it's inside like an apricot kernel or something like that, it's inside of a fruit. It's naturally protected. It's not supposed to see oxygen or see the light.
Yeah, you're completely
So when you expose nuts to light or juice to light, it starts to break it down and fractionate it, destructure the water and all that.
Right.
So that's why it's important to keep it as dark as possible. That's why we wanted to keep our spring water covered in cardboard when we had it in the garage.
Yeah.
As cold and dark as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Off the ground is even better, right?
Yeah.
Why was off the ground better?
Well, no,
on the ground.
We had it on the ground, but we were just trying to keep it cold from the concrete.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew there was a trick there.
Yeah, so we've been doing a low sugar diet, and we'll report back on how we do with that. And also, I wanted to tell people too about this routine that I'm putting together. I was telling you about this last night, Kate. Remember this?
And then, yes, after you talk about that, I have to talk about castor oil.
Jenny
just brought up a really interesting thing in the chat room. No, I'll bring it right back up after, because this is a thought that she brought up that I want to talk about that I've been thinking about myself. So.
No, go for it.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, real quick.
Yeah, no,
Jenny,
it's fine.
Our friend Jenny says, "Hey guys, any thoughts on castor oil packing without using cling film to hold it in place? I have been thinking about BPA-free plastic sheeting over the castor oil packing fabric, then tight vest. Oh my gosh."
You
tight
having a hard
vest top
time? Yeah,
to keep in place over the liver. What do you think?
What is the question?
Nothing. Just ignore that part.
Just ignore you.
So that's interesting because I've been doing castor oil packs almost every day on this uterine fibroid area to try to keep shrinking this thing.
Okay.
And every single YouTube video I watched on how to do it involves that freaking plastic wrap.
Yeah, it's
weird.
I agree.
Why do they
do that?
It freaks me out. I don't know. I'm like, why would you want to heat plastic? I mean, I don't even like plastic wrap. We don't have any in our house.
And put it next to your skin.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, and I'm not the expert on this, but I refuse to use plastic wrap. And part of me is wondering if the castor oil pack is working or not, because I haven't seen any big results in the last ultrasound of the fibroid area, which mine supposedly is going to be should be very responsive to the castor oil treatment.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's because I'm not wrapping my body in this film like they say. But
I can't see how that would be an issue, because it's like the whole idea is to put the castor oil on the skin and apply heat.
Right. So what I've been doing something completely different. Like I made up my own way to do a castor oil pack.
Oh yeah?
I don't know if it works or not.
Have we done a video for this?
No, but I should.
Okay.
I completely just use castor oil, like you said, slathered on like from the fibroid area up to my liver to kind of do the whole right quadrant of my body. Because I'm like, why not do both? They're so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll slather castor oil on that. I'll have my hot water bottle like pack waiting, and you know, that's plastic too, but at least it's not like, I don't know, I'm putting a towel around that. So I feel like a little more buffer than just plastic. Yeah. And then I'll put a really hot, a rolled up towel underneath steaming hot water. Okay. And then I'll squeeze it out so it's barely, you know, it's damp and not dripping. Yeah. I'll put that right over the area, and then I will put another clean, dry towel, and then I'll put the hot water pack, and then I'll put another towel on top of that, and then I'll wrap myself like a burrito,
like a big taco,
like a big taco.
Okay.
And I'll lay there for like.
Is that working? Do you think?
Well, I know it's working. I don't know about the fibroid shrinkage because I'm due for another ultrasound to see what's actually going on in there. Mm-hmm. And I hope so. But I do know that within the first 10 minutes of applying that, my digestion, I'll feel all this gurgling and moving, and I'll feel amazing in my digestive area.
After how long?
Oh, within 10 minutes. But I'll usually do the castor oil no less than 30 minutes, no more than an hour. Okay. So Jenny, I'm with you on that. The BPA thing freaks me out. Plastic wrap just seems like a bad idea with anything. Right. I don't know, but I refuse to use it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, you don't want to do the plastic wrap. You really want to get away from those chemicals. She said it feels wrong to her. I agree. It just feels wrong. It just seems very counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here. But
yeah, because your castor oil is so powerful. You know, it's so powerful, and you don't want to be introducing, especially chemicals that are in the plastics with heat close to your skin, directly on the skin like that. It's not going to be a good thing for you, especially over organs that are going to be sensitive to that, like the liver. Yeah. Eliminative organs like that, very important organs.
Huge organs. I mean, all our organs are equally important, but yeah, she says that she can't comprehend that the cling wrap plastics wouldn't pass through the oil as a carrier and into us, which is not especially good when estrogen metabolism is impaired. Doesn't that just make sense? We're trying to stick away from plastics. I mean, I don't know.
That doesn't make much sense.
Even with BPA-free plastic, it just seems like, why can't we create a conductor? I mean, why do you have to have that as a part of the process? Can't you X that out and use, you know, organic towels? Yeah. I don't know.
I know, right?
But to me, I think you're right. Because I've heard, was it Alia Cadro, I think, who was on, yeah, it is. Alia, here, we'll put a link to her. She wrote a book, co-authored a book with Louise Hay. And I'm blanking on the other girl's name right now. But they wrote this book called, what is it? I'm totally blanking. Something about getting better health. Right. I'll write the name of the book. But in it, she talks about how if you're in a hurry, or you just don't have time to lay there with a castor oil pack on for an hour or whatever, put castor oil on that area, rub it in, and just jump in the shower and let the steam and the heat from the shower just absorb. The castor oil
I remember she said that.
Yeah, on your joints, on your knees, for any kind of pain you have, just castor oil, along with heat. So anytime you're doing castor oil and heat, I think you're probably going to be in better shape.
You know what you could do too is combine, this would actually be really good for somewhere for, you know, people that have lower back problems. You can combine the castor oil with biomat or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and just put obviously a barrier in between the two so you don't get the castor oil all over the biomat.
Because it is messy and it stinks. It just smells weird. It smells, it's not stinky. Have you smelled it though?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
I can't believe kids used to drink that. Like their parents would give them a spoonful of castor oil.
Well, you know, I remember Jessica Ainscough was talking about this as part of the Gerson protocol, is that every other day they would drink, I think it's part of the Gerson, but every other day they would drink like take a teaspoon or a tablespoon of it, 2 tablespoons every second day as part of the cleansing process. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? That stuff is so thick and
so syrupy. Oh. I can see why kids had a coronary when their moms would be like, down the hatch.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, maybe they were healthier for it. It seems like one of those old time, I don't know, what do you call them?
Yeah, cleansing kind of things.
Yeah, that worked. I think they probably worked. I mean, nothing that seems to be healthy or work for people is ever really enjoyable or easy. Right. So sure, I'm sure it did work. And yet everyone is, you know, you got cough syrup that tasted like grape. Out goes the castor oil remedy, you know, who wants to have that anymore?
That's bizarre.
So tell me about what you're doing. I want to hear about speaking of cleansing. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, well, for the longest time, I've wanted to put together a protocol because you hear about, like, you listen to radio shows and you listen to interviews and lectures and all kinds of cool stuff. And you hear about all these awesome ways to take care of yourself, but you don't really think like, okay, how do I integrate this into my life? How do I do this in a way that is going to be something I can do long term? And, you know, can I have a schedule? And I'm not much one for schedules and writing things down and planning stuff, but I think it's cool to have an idea, a general idea of a daily, a weekly, a monthly, or a monthly, and I put seasonally and a yearly maintenance program of how you take care of yourself. So last night before the show,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was put together this thing just as you know, for my own kind of benefit here.
Yeah.
But then I thought, you know what, I should share this on the show.
Please.
All right. So you want to hear what it is daily?
Bring it on. What's your daily plan?
All right. Let's take a look here.
Let's take a look.
Here we go. Daily. So these are some of the things I do every single day, and I think you do. I don't do all of these every day, but I do most of them, and you do most of them.
Okay.
Rebound. Do the sauna. So I'll rebound for 25 minutes. Do the sauna for 30. Make a green juice every day. Something we try to do. Meditation. Mm-hmm. And when I do my meditation, I do my zapping every day while I'm doing the meditation. Okay. Because it's easy.
You do that? I didn't know you did that every day.
Yeah, I have a whole little, like, I put all these little tools here and all, like.
I love it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Crazy hippie.
I love the crazy hippie.
Inversion therapy.
Oh yeah, you've been all about that recently.
Yeah, great for your lower back, great for relieving muscular tension. Inversion. So, and then the neck exercises I do every day from Dr. Bergman. Stretching, a certain amount of stretching I'll do every day. I try to do stretching different times of the day. So I'll do little bits here and there. You see me, like if I'm talking with you out in the other room. Yeah. I'll just do little bits here
Anytime
and there.
you seem to have a free moment, you're always on the ground.
Stretching, yeah, trying to.
You are.
Qigong, doing that every day, 10 minutes morning, 10 minutes in the evening. Supplements we do every day, which is obvious. Laser therapy, I do that every day before bed with our Q laser. We'll put a link to that too if you're interested in getting one of those. Skin brushing. Oh yeah. Before the shower.
You do that every time? Mm-hmm. Wow, better than I.
I miss some days skin brushing. Sometimes I just forget to do it.
I kind of got out of the habit of it.
Yeah. Zeolite. I put zeolite there, but I think zeolite should probably go under supplements.
Oh yeah, you can zeolite. That's right.
Then 64 ounces of water every day at least.
You've been doing really good about that.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot better with that. Urine therapy.
Oh, see, you're putting me to shame.
Yes.
Darn.
Putting you to shame.
You got me beat.
So those are just some like daily practices that I do every day. I haven't done urine therapy actually in probably a couple months. I need to get back into that.
Well, it's the season to probably do it to start, with the sick season, boosting your immunity. Yeah, completely. And then so here's some of my weekly things that I do. Workout. I work out 3 days a week. Walk. I probably walk 5 days a week or more. Probably more. I walk a lot. You barely miss a day. Yeah, I walk a lot. Yeah, you walk a ton. Yoga, which is something I don't do. We haven't done in a long time. I want to do every day. I want to do twice a week. Yeah. Coffee enema. Yeah. Once a week, maybe on Sundays. Castor oil pack once a week. A detoxification bath. That would be with the minerals and things. With the minerals and the salts. Mm-hmm. I want to start getting back into fasting on Sundays. I know. Taking Sunday, just do a liquid, not like a liquid. For me, I want to do like a liquid that's not smoothie, but like anything like I can put green powders or protein powder in water or coconut water and drink powders, but make it all liquid. And I want to start getting into the cold. What do you mean? Like getting down with the cold, cold ice baths, cryotherapy, ice baths, jumping in the ocean. Down when it's super cold. So I'm going to go in there and our bathtub's going to be filled with ice one day. Totally. It's going to surprise me. And floating. Oh, and floating, right. Do that once a week. Right. Sensory deprivation. Okay. So now here's some seasonally or monthly things that you could do. And also add the Pandora star onto that one. God, right? I know, right? That would be during meditation. Right. While you're laying on the biomat. Yeah. While you have your energy rings around you and your pyramid, your crystal pyramid. Totally. Okay. This is something I'm going to do. Women don't necessarily need to do this, but there's an interesting video by Jonathan Wright. Okay. Talking about how you can reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke by 75%. Dang. By simply giving blood. Oh, you almost did that. When are you doing it now? November? You have
I got
an
it
appointment,
scheduled
don't you?
for November. Yeah.
Okay.
Women, but if you're past your period, you may want to consider doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And
You mean if you're out of that cycle in life, not just like once your period's over.
Right.
Right. Because you're not losing blood. So yeah, who did you heard this from Jonathan, right? He was the first person to expose you to that idea of bleeding yourself out a bit is good because what does he say it does for you?
Cleanse
your blood?
Yeah, apparently a number of studies that have been published that talk about the reduction of cardiovascular heart disease and strokes and heart attacks and things like that by people who give blood regularly. And he thinks it has to do with the blood pressure, releasing toxins, because women are able to do that once a month and men just can't do that.
Yeah, good point.
And so he goes into all this detail about why it's so good. But yeah, so that's something I want to do maybe once a season.
Okay.
Like, fall, spring, summer.
Wow. Well, and obviously giving blood helps people. I mean, that's really good benefit. When we lose blood, we just help ourselves, but you're actually giving life to someone else.
Right. Right. So that would be a good thing. So giving blood, so that's more of a weekly sort of a monthly seasonal thing. Here's something I want to do. Fecal implants.
Fecal implants.
How's that sound?
Where are you going to do that at? Should I be worried about what's going to be lurking in our cupboard?
I don't think Maggie is too impressed.
Maggie's not very impressed, are you?
But fecal implants, maybe once a year.
Really?
Yeah, maybe once a year or something like that.
Where do you do that at? Do you know?
I have no idea. I need to research that.
Fecal implants. Woo.
I need to go onto thepowerofpoop.com and find that place.
That's right. That's what it is, huh?
Yeah.
I would do that. I would do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It'd be a little bit like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I want to say I'd be a little grossed out, but not really, because you wouldn't really know it doesn't look like they're putting a big pile of poop in you or anything.
No. It's all diluted.
Right.
And you're getting incredible amounts of bacteria and beneficial probiotics, basically resetting your entire immune system.
And from what we know, that's better than doing these poop pills or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I know I've read about, like my dad read an article about that and sent it to me. I have it somewhere. I should
That's
find
right.
it,
We should put that in the show notes.
I think it's different. It has to be different.
Because it's way different.
So you want to do interesting.
So I'd love to do that once a year.
Yeah, I'd probably do it with you too.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, it's down to sort of a science. Like it's not like they're just haphazardly doing these things for you. It's like.
Yeah, it's like a vaccine though. I mean, vaccines seem to be a little shadier with what they have been able to extract from them,
right?
To see that there's all these fillers and heavy metals and things. But as far as the fecal implants, I mean, you're going off their word that this is like super pure product going into you. Because I wonder, if it's from a child who's never been vaccinated in some other country who hasn't had all these GMOs and antibiotics, blah blah blah. It's great, and that's what it's supposed to be. But man, if it wasn't, could it actually do damage to you instead of help you? I mean, it seems like that would be not good to have someone else's DNA in your body. It's foreign. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to do some more research because I've been learning about it quite a bit. I've been learning about people talking about it. Like they've been, hearing a lot of people talk about it, doctors and scientists and things. But I want to start doing some research because that's almost a way of sort of turning back the clock.
Yeah.
Because you're really resetting. I was reading somewhere recently that the average American, I think it was, I forget what it was. It was something like 100 years ago, had 1,000 different strains of bacteria in their body. Mm-hmm. And now we're down to about, I think it was like 400.
Jeez.
600 have been removed. And so it's...
Wow.
So, I mean...
We're missing. Yeah, I know.
They're doing fecal implants with kids with autism now and having been able to reverse symptoms of autism for up to a few weeks, almost completely. As long as the child continues to do these things, then the symptoms just never show up as a completely low functioning autistic child.
Is there a way to do that for the children in a longer period of time where they're not having to, forever? Are they going to have to
don't know.
fecal implants?
It's so new. It's such a new area of expertise. Yeah, it's interesting to see where it goes. But
interesting.
I mean, if it's doing that with autism, it's pretty powerful.
I'm totally wanting to do it. I just want to make sure it's like one of those things that not only is it not good for you, you want to make sure it's not. If the opposite isn't going to harm you.
Yeah, totally. So fecal implants. High dose vitamin injections. We should be going down to
Spark Health.
Spark Health, yeah.
Yes, and we've been meaning to forever.
And doing IV chelation or doing some high dose vitamin therapies.
Right.
Once every season would be good.
Yeah, at least. And then when you start to feel maybe a little bit of cold coming on, go and get a vitamin C drip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An IV.
Yeah.
But the injections, I think the bees are always really good on their. I mean, they're not the only ones. You can probably find them all around the world where they give you vitamin injections. But on Spark's list or menu, they have a happy hour, which is so funny. I think it's from 3 to 5.
It's so funny.
Thursdays or Wednesdays, I forget. But it's happy hour of like what you want injected into you, what kind of concoction. Funny. One of them's energy. I think one of them's like a mood booster. One of them's
jet
lag, immune.
Do they just inject those into your butt? Is that how they do it? Really?
Usually your butt. And I remember Nicole, the main
That's so funny.
Nurse down there?
Have to go through a vein or something.
I know, it's weird. But she says they'll teach you how to self-inject. So if you want to take some home, they'll show you how to grab some meat and go for it.
Grab
I don't
some
know if
meat.
I could inject
get to work.
myself. I'd probably want you to do it for me. Grab some meat and get to work. Sounds like now we're talking about a butcher.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
That's a late night movie.
Gosh.
Grab some meat and get to work.
Okay, we're going to pretend that didn't happen. Shane in the chat room says, Justin, do you do the wheel stretch? May also be called bridge, where you arch your supporting your body with hands and feet. Wheel and yoga.
Yeah,
you're way better at that than I am.
Yeah, I do that from time to time. I need to get back into doing it as part of I do a daily stretching routine before bed. Yeah. But I don't do that one. I forget to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wheel,
that would be good.
On an everyday, wheel, I'm really bad at wheel, but I'll attempt it in yoga when it's the hot yoga, because otherwise, I don't know why.
You just don't bend or you don't? I
haven't stretched for like 6 months.
Wow.
I feel it. I'm just feeling all crunchy and it's sad.
Yeah.
You know what? Today,
bam.
It stops.
Done.
Done.
Yeah, no, it's something that I do every single day, and I've been doing it every day for probably 10 years now.
Okay.
And the benefits have been unbelievable. But I've not done the yoga thing. Like I do my own little stretching routine, but I haven't done the yoga thing. We were going pretty consistently there for a while. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, I know. For years, 2 years, maybe more.
And that was really cool, but I haven't been able to stick with it with the yoga routine, but I want to get back into that. The wheel stretch would be really beneficial for people like, now you working at a computer.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're getting that big stretch.
Yep.
Oh,
man, am I feeling it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The opposite. I know.
Opposite of how you're sort of leaning forward and that kind of thing. Okay, a couple more of these.
Although, by the way, Jenny in the chat.
Jenny from the block?
Autism Summit starts Monday the 2nd.
Oh, really?
I asked her for the link. I did not know there was an Autism Summit.
Autism Summit?
Didn't hear about that one.
Okay, Jenny, send us the link on that.
Please.
We're going to create a page on our website. I think, did you mention this?
No, I didn't actually.
We're going to create a page on our website.
I forgot. Sorry.
All the summits are on one page. And then what I'll do is I'll sort of have a little line break and have a line break show all the previous summits. And that way you can keep up to date with, because all the summits are free and we talk about them on our newsletter and encourage people to sign up for them. Basically, all you do is you sign up and you register and you get to watch these things. That's awesome.
Autism.
Did she share
SummitOnline.com.
Nice.
Woohoo. Said there's really powerful information. This is great. Thanks, Jenny.
Good. Okay. Awesome. Jenny, thank you for that.
Wow. Awesome.
So let's see a couple more things here. Massage is something that I would like to do.
Yes, please.
Every single day of my life, if I could.
If I was rich, I would seriously.
Every day.
I would have someone live in my house. That was our just massage therapist.
I'd be insane.
I'd have one every day. Okay, yes. I would do one, what are you talking, once a month?
Yeah, maybe I have it under seasonally or monthly.
Okay.
So probably once a month.
Cool.
For budget reasons.
Right.
And then also, I should put chiropractic. Chiropractic should go under weekly, right?
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, let me put that under the weekly.
I wish that could be every day, man. Does that feel good?
Let me save that little file there. And so monthly or seasonally is giving blood, fecal implants, high dose vitamin injections, and massage.
Awesome.
Right?
Awesome, right.
And then yearly, here's what I got for yearly.
Okay.
1 herbal cleanse, like an Ejuva or something else, something similar. A liver flush. Colonic.
Nice.
Colonic once a year.
Probably a series of colonics if you can, it'd be even better.
Yeah, the good thing you brought that up. I always mention this guy. What is his name?
Yeah, not Marshall, Doctor.
No, the guy that lived for a long time on juicing.
He wrote that book with the stork on the front or whatever.
Norman Walker. The Norwalk juicer. He recommended doing a series of 6 colonics. He says twice a year.
Wow.
So I figured
12 a year, one a month basically. But he said it's really good to do them in cycles, like in groups.
In groups, so that you wash away everything. Okay. But I figure, if you're going to do all this other stuff, once a year is good. So one herbal cleanse, 1 liver flush, 1 colonic, a parasite cleanse.
Wow.
And here's a couple other things that are something that you could do every year that I thought would be good. Obviously, get your blood tested.
Oh, right. Just know where you're at with stuff. And there's all kinds of different blood tests you can get, so you can just, whatever one you want to do. But just to get a gauge of how you're progressing every year. And then... Because we're always progressing toward health.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's fun to see what happens in a good way.
Totally.
Instead of looking for something wrong all the time, like what's going to come back wrong with me, it's more like, hey, look what went away. Look, I don't have elevated liver enzymes anymore.
I know.
Look, my this, that, or the other is more toward the, quote, normal range.
And treat yourself almost like a science experiment in a sense where you're constantly trying to see how healthy you can get.
Absolutely.
Instead of looking for something wrong.
Right.
But then the last 2 things I have on here are, the blood test was the last one, or the second to last, and the last one was a silent retreat or a fun getaway.
Oh.
Like a vacation. Or for me, if a silent retreat, you like silent retreats. For me, a fun getaway would just be go surfing with some friends, take a surf trip somewhere.
Totally.
But that would be, just, or just go camping by yourself or do something where you get away.
Refresh yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of I love your list.
Yeah?
Powerful.
Yeah. So
this is all stuff that just blows my mind because you didn't do any of it like 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. I know, right?
Eating 10 years ago, you were starting to get turned on to foods and things and maybe some supplementation or juicing. That was it.
Yeah.
This list didn't exist before that. And what's scary is that list will look so small 10 years from now. We'll be like, oh my gosh, we didn't do X, Y, Z. We didn't know about this. We didn't. Yeah. I mean, like floating alone, float therapy has changed my life. That's just one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You really like that floating.
I love floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So amazing. But yeah, that would be some cool things to do,
I mentioned colonics to a couple of the girls at my part-time job at the speech therapy office. They'd never heard of it, of course.
They'd never heard of colonics?
No.
Really?
They're 23 and 25.
Okay.
Didn't hear colonics. And young bucks.
Young chaps.
Told them what it was, and they're like, oh, when do we have a colon party? So now they want to a schedule to all go together. And some people wait in the room, read magazines while the other ones get their colonics. Like they want to have a colon cleansing party. I'm like, okay.
No way.
Who knew?
Are you serious?
Oh, they were thrilled. So they've actually, I've dropped the ball. They've asked me, what is that website? Let's book our colon stuff. Let's all go as an office.
No way.
So I guess 4 girls in the office want to have a colon cleansing. I think because they're so interested, they're like, it's almost like when we talk about floating, people are like, oh, that's really interesting. I gotta go try that.
Have you told them about floating yet?
I don't think they can handle that yet. We're easing in one step at a time.
Well, geez, easing in with colon blow. I mean, that's one way to ease into something. That's crazy.
I know.
You don't ease in with the colon blow. That's like the neutron bomb.
Eating it and be like, here, why don't you eat a vegetable?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I'm surprised.
Knowing
you'd be like, why don't you go from doing a colonic to going and floating and then laying and doing the Pandora Star and then taking ayahuasca and then coming back and sleeping in a, I don't know.
In a pup tent.
Sure.
Pup tent.
By yourself in the middle of the woods.
By yourself in the middle of the woods.
But I'm excited that they were like, I was like, okay, cool. Younger girls never heard of this thing, don't care much about health, and yet they were excited about this colon cleanse. I don't know.
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah, man.
I mean, part of the draw probably is you do lose weight and you feel really good and light. And who doesn't want to do that? I mean, that probably is the underlying reason why they're so excited about it. But I mean, as long as you're not abusing things and the therapist explains to you why proper colon cleansing and hydration is good, I hope that they can see beyond the other reason to try to fit in your skinny jeans or something. But,
yeah.
Well, but I was like, that's awesome. Whatever draws people into even if you're doing it for vain reasons, I mean, my gosh, you're still doing something really great for yourself.
Yeah. And at least you are being exposed to and made aware of the power of alternative health and how the body works and where toxins are stored and your fat cells and your colon and
completely
your digestive tract and all that.
One I love, because the place we've gone to before, it's like, the minute they go in, they're going to be like, oh, what are all these crystals? What is this chakra chart? What is this? You know, but it's cool because you're like, there's this whole world outside. I didn't even.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
It's pretty cool.
So 2 of them are wanting to do it?
I think 4 of them.
Really?
Oh, it's hilarious.
They want to have a colon blow party.
Stop calling it that. That just, I mean, that is what it is, but it sounds horrible. It sounds disgusting, like we're whales or something. Blowhole. We see some really weird stuff on this show. Don't we? Oh, my. Yeah, so there you go.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So that's my list. I'm curious if you guys in the chat room are interested in putting together a list like this. I might try to put some time frames. Obviously, I wouldn't do time frames on the daily stuff, but maybe on the weekly or the seasonally or monthly, yearly stuff, I can put, come up with like a calendar, and you can sort of start to prepare yourself for these types of things once a year, It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, good.
That way you kind of know like what, you don't have to do the same herbal cleanse every year. You can do a different one, or you can change the dates a little bit here and there, but generally that, okay, come wintertime, it makes more sense to cleanse in this way or do this particular thing. And so if you have a general, like this is what happens every year, then it would be kind of a cool framework to have for people to really know, okay, every Sunday I do the coffee enema and I'd fast and,
right.
And so
I feel like I like seasonal things. I think it's cool it seems like every new year, everyone sets these new goals and, whether it be a budget, a lot of people just overhaul their life a little and kind of check in with these new goals. It's so cool to do throughout the year. You don't have to make one big, I'm going to start eating this way January 1st. I'm going to start working out. If you have, okay, in March, I'll do, some colon cleansing and I'll do some other stuff throughout the summer. And then in the fall, I'll do some more colon cleansing. And then add in all these other things. It really excites you to kind of go through the year and have them spaced out. Yeah. In a way that's not so, I don't know,
intimidating?
Intimidating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when people set out to do big things, like I'm going to do a 30-day diet challenge, or a juice thing, or I've done a lot of things like that, and it seems really overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah, it does, huh?
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to put together a little list like that. I think that'd be good.
That's a great list. I should I encourage everyone to make their list and add in what makes them feel
what
good.
Gets them excited. Yeah.
Good. Well, that's really neat.
I want to share with you before we're leaving one final thing. I was just listening. We were talking about this in the car the other day before we close up the show, but we're talking about honoring your father and your mother. And it was interesting. I was listening to Dr. Richard Massey recently, one of our favorite guests, and he was talking about honoring your father and mother, and he was talking about how you made it sound so random. He's just talking about honoring your father and your mother. Everyday conversation. How do you honor your mother? How do you honor your father? No, but it was interesting because he was talking about how $10 of work on the emotional, spiritual level is worth $10,000 of work on the physical level. So when you start doing all these physical things for your body, like we're just talking about, cleansing and detoxing and stuff like that, it becomes pricey, and it's a very ineffective way to deal with your health because you're dealing with at the lowest vibrational level. Because you think about the vibration of our bodies is so high, and as more matter comes into that vibration, the lower the vibration the matter has. So if you look at the vibrational frequency of this phone, it's going to have a lower vibration than something like, something that has less matter. Right. Exactly. And so he's saying when you work on your health on a physical level, it's really the most expensive and the least effective way to start dealing with something. And he was talking about honoring your father and mother. And it was interesting because he was talking about how how in the Bible it says, honor your father and mother and you'll
live long
and prosperous and all that stuff. And he was saying one of the best ways that we could honor our father and our mother is to accomplish or to become or to do the things in our lives that they were unable to do themselves.
Wow.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Like, give an example of
like we could all look at our mom or dad and say, okay, what is their weakness? What things were they unable to overcome? You know, like let's say one of our family members is dealing with fear or control issues or lack of self-esteem. And so we realized that somehow we have that, like somehow that got downloaded to us, right? So we start having the same. So the best way to honor your father and mother, whether they're here or not, is to become the thing that they were trying to become subconsciously without them even knowing it. Wow. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was really powerful the way he was talking about it, because it was like, you know,
it's almost like sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's almost like your parents had you to, without knowing it, to carry on what they knew they weren't going to be able to accomplish in this life. So that's why it's important to keep the DNA rolling to try to overcome these, because it does seem like generational stuff. I mean, we all see it gets passed down until someone makes a very conscious choice to stop it, you know, good or bad, or carry on or start something new, or so it almost seems like these generations of people who have these patterns, are they just failing to honor their parents in it and falling into the same.
You mean people that fall into the same trap as their parents?
Yeah. Because their parents probably don't want that. Like if your parents are raging alcoholics,
right?
And they had you, obviously deep down, their hope would be like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't wish this upon anyone. I hope my child doesn't become a raging alcoholic. Right. And they can do better, and they can become successful, and they can, you know, waste their life away or ruin their health. So it's like if the child does grow up and become just like their parents, well, it's almost like they failed again. You know, it's like, so at some point, somebody down the line I guess there are some families where that never stops. And you have family lineages that can, you know, continue on. But then you love those stories you hear about the person that's like, I looked at my parents and I didn't want to become what they were going to become. And not in a bad, it's almost like not in a judging way, but they're honoring their parents in saying that and like becoming something different than they were, because they knew that their parents were only capable of so much, and it wasn't going to be this life that they were going to be able to overcome these addictions or issues, or is that the kind of thing?
They kind of knew. Yeah, they kind of knew that was going to happen. I mean, you think about like a parent that's dealing with like alcoholism, addictions, and you know, as a parent, you want something better for your children, right? You want something better, and as a child, you look at your parents and you see their struggle with these things. And you think, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And then all of a sudden, when you're 25 years old, you're just,
oh my gosh, I'm my mom.
Yeah, you're you know, drinking and or whatever. But a powerful way to honor your parents would be to step into the very thing that they wish they could overcome. So you find what their weaknesses are, and learn how to overcome that, and overcome that yourself. And that's someone wrote what is this guy's name? He wrote a poem about this. I shared it with you a while back, where he talks about like parents are the bow and arrows, or like parents are the bow, and a child is the arrow. And it's the parent's job to stretch the bow, which means stretch yourself to become someone, the best version of yourself, so you can pull that arrow back as far as it can go.
And point it in the right direction.
And shoot the arrow, which is your offspring, as far into the future as possible, so that they can become and do the same thing.
I remember that.
And we don't want our children, our lineage, to succumb to the same diseases and addictions we have. So one of the best ways to honor your father and mother would be to overcome those types of situations.
It takes a lot of stinking work.
It does.
It's easier to just kind of float through life and not do the work, but the work is where the miracles happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, honoring your father and your mother. I know, because it's really easy for us just to not be victims of our family's weird stuff passed down to us, but to still kind of blame and to kind of complain about, point out, have issue with. I mean, and you know, sometimes you just need to talk out like, oh my gosh, why is our family doing this? Or why is this person, why do they not see it like I see it? I mean, processing that stuff seems like a healthy thing, but I know what you mean, to not blame and to not complain so much, but instead take that energy and change things. To put that energy toward changing a pattern or becoming something different is where the real healing is going to be. Yeah. And you're right, to honor your parents in that. So he says the only way to overcome any kind of illness or any kind of was it illness he's talking about, or any kind of challenge in life is to honor through honoring your parents or your family?
Well, he says when we honor and give homage to our ancestors is only then can we fully embrace the healing on all three levels. Because he was talking about healing is always it's like the Trinity. There's always a three-pronged approach to healing, and if you don't heal on all three levels, then you can't heal completely. And when you honor your parents and you honor your ancestors and you honor your ancestral diet and you eat what your ancestors ate, it's only then that your body actually resonates with that. And so he's talking. It's just really powerful stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
In terms of like family constellation and things like that.
I love that Julio says, yep, the first 3 kids were practice kids.
Yeah.
And he says last one gets the best of everything.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
like the pancake. I love Gilmore Girls, that show. Huge fan. Yeah. And they talk about, and there being the first pancake theory. Oh, and it's like a bummer, but she talks about the first pancake being the one that everybody throws out. It's weird. It's not right. It's either burnt or it's gross and mushy. And it's like after that, they start getting better. But yeah, with kids too, it's like the first pancake theory.
My grandma would always tell my mom, you want to have one practice kid, and then throw it away, and then have your real kid after
Totally.
that.
I wish life worked like that. We'd have a lot more functional human beings.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining us in the chat room. Let me take a look here and see.
That was a lot of fun. We had you, me, Julio, Shane, Jenny, and guest 6597.
Nice. Okay. Awesome.
And a couple people without names on from over in another area at one point. That's fun,
awesome.
guys.
That was a good show. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Hope you guys like the Free For All Friday shows. For those that are interested, we're going to be doing most of our shows. We're trying to move everything to in-studio guests now that we have video and stuff.
Yay.
So we're going to try to eventually we're going to get to the point where we can crack the code. Here's my plan.
Okay, how do we crack it?
Do you want to do live video? Was that scary?
Nah. Same as,
same as what
anytime
we're
you're doing video, you're like, well, putting yourself out there. So sure.
We don't edit the video anyway.
Yeah.
So we could do live video, or we could keep it like it is now, but we could do most of our interviews to be in-studio guests and release them throughout the week.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, live, maybe video, but yeah, pretty cool.
Maggie has a lot to say.
It looks like she's pretty pretty vocal.
Dying to share something here.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys.
Live video would be fab.
It would,
Jenny
wouldn't
says
it?
in the chat room.
Yeah?
Yeah, cool.
So this video podcast, the podcast will be available on our website some point soon. It's really challenging for me to get everything up quickly.
Yeah.
But the YouTube videos come out way sooner. I could edit those and throw them up because I don't have to do show notes and things like that. So a lot less work for the YouTube videos.
They're the first pancake.
They're the first pancake. So
you get what you get.
Yeah, that's right. So this will be available on our YouTube channel very soon. The show notes will be available at extremehealthradio.com/402. And don't forget to also click on our store. Please go to our store and see if there's any products there that will benefit you guys. And also, I want to thank all of you in the chat room specifically and or listening to this as a podcast for bookmarking our Amazon link because we got lots of cool stuff coming out, or people are going to be buying a lot through Amazon. And if you bookmark our link, that helps us a lot.
Yes.
It really does.
Holiday shopping, if everyone can remember and help us out that way, be huge. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for everyone who does. We're really grateful. Yeah, it really helps us. And so by bookmarking our link is really, really helpful to us. You use the bookmark every time you buy on Amazon, and we get a little commission that helps us pay the bills. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, easy, right? Everybody gets something. And did we thank our latest people that have donated to us? Can we bring it up? No, I could bring it up. Okay. Thank you to Rico Schallenberger. I like that name. Rico. Lucas Tomzinski for his donation. Nice. These are people that have donated to us via Patreon or by PayPal. Okay. Thomas Wright. Nice. Oh, Thomas Wright, yeah. Stefania Fanunza. Okay. Gregory Zogorafos. And Vernon Rosu, who bought a sauna. Nice. Yeah, so your sauna is going to be shipping out very, very soon. Yay. And Vernon, as soon as
tracking number becomes available, we will send that to you, or the manufacturer will send it to you.
Vernon's stoked.
Yeah.
I just get so excited when people get their saunas. It's just, we've never had one complaint about those saunas.
No, they're amazing.
No one's ever complained about them. No one's never tried to return them. Like, people love them.
They're just awesome.
I don't know why you ever would.
Yeah. So
right on.
And also I want to thank everyone too for sharing our shows on Facebook, or if you see a status update that we post of our previous shows or anything that we share on Facebook, please share that with your friends. Just click the little share button there and that will help to spread the message of what we're doing. And so if you want to donate on PayPal or by Patreon on a per podcast basis, we really could use your help. Very, very important that we are able to remain sustainable and to pay the bills to do. We're going to buy 3 new cameras.
Oh.
And this is all coming from people that are helping to support us.
I know. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
I know, right?
Oh, but with everyone chipping in, it's possible.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
So yeah, on Patreon, you don't have to do donations of a lot. You can do $1 of a show, which is $4 a month, or set your monthly cap to $5 a month or whatever. Some people do 25 cents a show too.
Yeah,
so
it's $1 a month. If everybody was able to do that, it would help out a lot.
Yeah. So consider buying through our Amazon link. Since you're buying on Amazon anyway, that would be super helpful. Consider donating a small amount per show. That would be super helpful. And then for Christmas or back to school or anything, check out our store and you can check all that out.
Woohoo!
Yeah, right?
Who doesn't like shopping?
I know, right? So thank you everybody for joining us. This is episode 402. And is that about it, Kate?
That's pretty much it.
That it?
I'm going to go style our neighbor's hair for Halloween.
Oh, nice. There you go.
That'll be funny.
Nice.
Mr. Incredible.
Mr. Incredible.
Wish me luck on that one.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And
love you all.
We love you all. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.